On his various trips to the USA, President Milei has rubbed shoulders with some of the giants of the tech world. He says that he dreams of making Argentina a hub for artificial intelligence, but to build his vision, Milei will need more than just magical thinking. President Milei has spent much of the last 10 months in office running around the world looking for investment. On his trips to the US, Milei met with tech giants like Mark Zuckerberg and has become good friends, so it seems, with Elon Musk. Perhaps a bit dazzled by the wealth of his new amigos and the financial possibilities presented by the tech world, Milei has loudly declared his intention to make Argentina a global tech hub with a particular focus on the cutting-edge field of AI. This pronouncement has raised a few eyebrows internationally. Despite the outward appearance of being up to date with all the latest tech trends, Argentina has a habit of lagging behind a bit when it comes to adopting new technology. Last year I moved house and it took a full month to get internet connected to my new apartment. And when new things do arrive, getting stuff to work efficiently isn't always as quick or easy as one would expect. For example, paying with QR codes in the supermarket appeared a couple of years ago, but the system is still very slow, and I hate getting stuck in the checkout queue behind someone trying to use it. As far as using artificial intelligence in the workplace goes, Argentina is lagging a long way behind the rest of Latin America, and even further behind most of the world. Only 1 in 10 Argentine companies currently use AI in their operations, half the global average. One of the factors Milei has pointed to that could be inviting to tech companies is lots of space and power available when it comes to building the huge data centers required by artificial intelligence. The president said that much of southern Argentina is empty and cold. Low temperatures would help to consume less energy for cooling of machines, and electricity in Argentina is cheap, abundant, and reliable. Now, I have to say that domestic energy bills are really, really cheap. Even with the recent removal of subsidies, we still pay less than 10% for our electricity compared to European nations. This could be because a lot of generation comes from renewables. Hydro, wind, and solar are all well represented on the grid, and 10% comes from nuclear, but we'll get to that later. Electrical power may be cheap, but reliability is something else altogether. During the summer, power outages in Buenos Aires are common. The temperature and humidity get very high in the middle of summer, and on particularly hot days, everyone turns their air conditioning on at the same time, and boom, out go all the lights. It can take minutes to hours and occasionally even days for it to come back on, and there are occasional micro cuts when the lights dip for maybe just a second, but just long enough to make your PC restart and lose whatever you were in the middle of. The reasons for this are mixed. In the past, it was often the city government not paying its electricity bills. More often, it's simply the old, disorganized, and badly maintained power grid. This is reflected in the apparently random distribution of the outages. It could affect an entire neighborhood, or just a couple of blocks, or even one side of the street, but not the other. These outages have decreased in frequency over the years, but there's still an occasional problem in the summer. The Energy Secretary has already said that there will be cuts this December and January, but they should be scheduled and managed so as not to affect domestic supply and be predictable for industrial users. We'll see how that goes. The president has also pointed out the availability of suitable human capital in Argentina. There's a well-educated population, and Argentina has a lot of tech startups employing people with a range of necessary skills. However, since taking office, Milei's government have made sweeping cuts to higher education and scientific research. On Wednesday, the president vetoed an increase in public university budgets and salaries amid angry protests outside the Congress building. The available funding is stuck at rates from 2023 and has been gobbled up by inflation. Laboratories are cancelling world-class medical research for lack of basic supplies, and some universities have even stopped running elevators to save on electricity bills. When academics complained, Milei tried to justify his cuts by suggesting that scientists should have to compete in the free market like anyone else, and that it's wrong to expect the state to support scientific research. Until very recently, Argentina was leading the world in the development of a new generation of nuclear power stations. The small modular reactor, which is entirely designed and being built in Argentina, is one of 5 such projects around the world. Construction began in 2014 and the reactor was set to go online in 2028, 2 years ahead of any competitors. Now, due to budget cuts and layoffs in the construction sector, building at the plant in Zarate in Buenos Aires province has come to a halt. With a much reduced workforce, construction is expected to continue, but at a much slower pace, and will certainly miss many deadlines. Argentina has 3 other nuclear power stations, but this was to be the first completely designed and built by Argentine scientists and engineers. These huge projects are so long-term that team members who leave or are laid off take with them skills which are not replaced, and this affects the whole industry. Some scientific research doesn't show a profit for decades, which is far too long for most commercial enterprises. State-supported investment in people, education and research projects are often, if not usually, the only way to kickstart new industries. The whole tech sector, which Milei has so fallen in love with, would simply not exist without US government-sponsored research and development back in the 1950s and 60s. It was NASA that put man on the moon, not Elon Musk. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, there's a couple of videos on the screen now. If you're not already subscribed, you might want to do that too. If you want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee in the link below. And until next time, que tengas un buen día.